Hey lovelies! So this week I was working from home again. We had cold days, but slowly but surely days are feeling a bit longer. There's been a few hints of sunshine this week, which has been, oh, thank goodness, because I've been working very hard to get a project finished, and man, I needed some sunshine. It's been so grey. So my kind of joy from last week of the old aldehydes continued into this week. So I started off, well, it's only really one of these to be honest, but it started off with one that I realised I hadn't worn in December and January, which is when I tend to reach for this one, because although I do think this is sort of an aldehydic spring floral, it's so strong and it's actually so happy that I find that this is really good in cold weather. So this is Cabotine de Gres. This is the Parfum. Eau de Parfum, I should say. So I mean, look how cool the bottle is. It looks really cool in this light. Oh my goodness. So, Cabotine de Gres is notorious. This is another one that, similar to Chanel Number 5, gets quite a lot of hate, but is actually, I think, a very beautiful perfume, a very beautiful soapy floral. It's got so many notes in it. Let's read all these out. Coriander, orange blossom, blackcurrant, cassia, plum, tangerine and peach. That's just the top notes. Middle notes of tuberose, hyacinth, carnation, ginger, jasmine, ylang ylang, freesia, iris, rose, heliotrope and violet. And then the base notes are civet, vetiver, blackcurrant, musk, sandalwood, cedar, amber, tonka bean and vanilla. So in this version, I mean, obviously you've got the blackcurrant in the top and you've got it in the base. It's crazy that this does not list aldehydes because this is so aldehydic. It is so fizzy and soapy. It's like proper champagne bubbles up your nose kind of aldehydes. It's very, very flowery while also having a slight syrupy blackcurrant, but it's also got a sharpness, which I think is probably more pronounced in cold weather. So this isn't like cozy for me to wear, but I just fancied it, and it's bright and it's cheerful. It doesn't actually say here ginger lily, but I feel like ginger lily is a really like famous part of this perfume. When I got the box, when I got this originally, and the same when I had the EDT back when I first started my channel, the box talked a lot about the ginger lily. This is compared to Tender Poison. Okay, so I will talk about Tender Poison because I managed to get a old bottle that still had a little bit in the bottom, so I could compare these two. So I will make a video at some point because I also got a little sample from a dupe house, and I was quite surprised by how that smelt. And I can see some similarities with Cabotine, but I don't actually necessarily think that they're massively close. But anyway, I'll talk to you about it, but I prefer Cabotine, so which is unusual for me when it comes to poisons. So Cabotine de Gres, it is very strong. I only put on I do a spray between my wrists that then, dab, and a spray on the top of my hands that then I dab on the side of my neck because this is so strong. And the EDT is stronger than this. I think that this one, I would say that here, the ginger lily and the tuberose are a little bit stronger in the EDP, and the blackcurrant stronger in the EDP. The EDT, I get much more of the jasmine coming through. But actually, to be honest, now I'm used to this one. I have a little carded sample of the EDT, and I love them both now. So yeah, I had to learn the best time for me to wear this and how little I need to wear of it and the mood I have to be in to wear it. But it is one of the best value. In fact, two of the perfumes I've got here with me today, three actually, are some of my most amazing good value perfumes. So yeah, so that's a Cabotine de Gres. That was an excellent one. Next up, let's go for, what are we putting up next? Let's do this guy. So, I mean, really, I wanted to wait until it was warmer to wear this because I do think this perfume is better in warmer weather. But my husband got it for me for Christmas and I've been really excited to wear it, so I just had to put it on this week. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, such a good one. This is from a very independent niche brand called And Fragrances, and this is their perfume called Far. This is Simon Constantine's brand, ex-Lush perfumer. So it kind of, look, it's such a cool bottle. Isn't it so cool? Because I thought they were going to be round, and then it arrived and it's this cool shape. It's just tiny little lid. Really, really beautiful. You can tell it's an indie brand with that style of bottle, can't you, really? This is my favourite citrus vanilla, basically. They don't even tell you there's vanilla in this, but I am willing to bet quite a lot of money that there is some vanilla in this. And it's very creamy when it dries down. This is kaffir lime and yuzu in the top, mid notes of mandarin, orange and ladamum in the mid, and the base notes are biscuit. So I have the 10ml pen spray that I bought for myself in the Eau de Parfum formulation, and I love that. But when I wanted to get a full bottle I asked my husband. I wasn't going to ask him to buy the Eau de Parfum because they are very expensive. I had a £25 off voucher because I had purchased the Discovery range, the Discovery set, I should say, from And Perfumery and Fragrances, actually, I think it's called. And I was just like, this is so damn scrumptious. It smells like my mum's key lime pie, like with the zest of a lime and the juice and then a ton of icing sugar on a biscuit base and a lovely kind of creamy vanilla, you know, well, in the case of my mum's key lime pie, basically like a cheesecake. So it smells like a citrus cheesecake. It's so good. And it isn't full of horrible modern aroma chemicals that stop this smelling like it's supposed to. So it's the most natural incarnation I've smelt so far of a citrusy lemon vanilla perfume. Even though obviously this is lime and yuzu, so it's got a little bit more of a tartness. It retains a little bit of that zesty bitterness, but not too much at all. And it also retains some of that lovely acidity that you get with citruses. I would say if you like the hair thing from Lush called Super Milk and you weren't too keen on the kind of benzoiny feel that you get in the perfume, I think Far would make you really happy. I think it's so delicious because all of Simon's perfumes from this range all kind of could be Lush perfumes. You can really smell his signature on all of these, as you can in a lot of his Lush perfumes. So I mean, I highly recommend, you know, I don't have loads of indie brands, but I have such a soft spot for And Fragrances, and it's just beautiful. I love it. So I felt so scrummy, and I wore another lemon that you'll see later, and it just can't compare to this one. So in my wearing things to see if I want to keep them kind of trend that's going on, I wore this one because I have had this for quite a long time, and whenever I reach for it I'm like, I don't know, I don't think I love it. So this is Brocard, my cup of tea. This is the one called Sweet Home. I got this one and it smells very similar to a tea that my husband and I were drinking during the pandemic called Cherry Black from Tea People. And it's like it's berry and rose petals with a black tea. And this is kind of sweetened, this one. It really smells like that. So I have this lovely nostalgia. So I wore it and I did feel nostalgic. But I don't love this. And I'm kind of tossing up at the moment what I'm going to do about that, because this is a very rare perfume. You can't get Brocard perfumes hardly at all in the UK now. And so I'm considering whether this is one where I might take like a decent sized decant and then pass the rest of the bottle on so someone else can enjoy it. Because as you can see, like, this is a 100ml bottle. I think is it 100ml? It doesn't say anywhere on it. Hasn't got anything on the bottom. I think these were 100ml bottles, but you know, I'm just not going to get through this much. But at the same time, I will be sad if I can never smell it again. But I know I'm not going to use it very regularly, so I'm kind of tossing up what I'm going to do with this one. This is black tea, red berries, raspberry leaf, cinnamon, blackcurrant leaf, vanilla, peach, vetiver and bergamot. And actually, the cinnamon in here did kind of come out when I was wearing it this time round, and it does smell a bit Christmassy, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with this. I was so sure that I would never get rid of this that I didn't keep the box. I normally do keep the boxes of my perfumes just because I am very often changing my mind about things, or I find a better version of something, or I just go off something, or I suddenly can smell aroma chemicals that I couldn't smell before. Yeah, this one I'm struggling with what to do with this one, but I do feel like I'm not going to wear it all the time. So, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, it's so random. This is a perfume that doesn't even say anything on it. Like, it's so random, and bless, it was so cheap. But this is a Mayfair perfume. It's in a bottle that just has this kind of cool little painting on the sticker and then nothing else anywhere on it. So luckily, because I have it listed on Fragrantica, I can actually find it and I can tell you what it actually is. This is Orchid Paradisi by Mayfair London. This is literally one I just chucked into my order when I was ordering Just Musk and a couple of other perfumes, and this one was literally like £2.99 in the sale, so I just chucked it in. This is actually a very pretty, extremely musky floral perfume with some tea in it. It's like basically white tea, vanilla orchid kind of feel. It's not exactly the same smell as white tea, vanilla orchid, but it is somewhere in that realm. And it's very pretty, but I just don't need this. I'm just not going to wear this. Like, I wore it and I was like, it's pretty. Don't love it. I don't love it as much as the white tea vanilla orchid that I actually have from Elizabeth Arden. And I don't love it as much as my musky florals that I have already. So I'm not going to keep hold of this one. That one I'll probably put in a perfume bundle. But I have to say, if you see it for cheap and you like orchid and you like musky florals that are a bit sweet, this is a really pretty perfume. Like, it's surprising how cheap this one was. I mean, I say that the Just Musk I have from Mayfair is like a 100 ml bottle, and it's amazing, and that cost me like £6 or £7, something insane. But anyway, so I did wear that one. Oh, and I wore this. Oh lordy, I'd forgotten because I haven't worn this for a while. I feel like I did wear this at the in spring or like early summer last year, but I didn't pull it out as much as I think I normally would have. I probably had something new I was playing with and was overexcited. In fact, I did, because I had Ilio from Diptyque that I got a bit overexcited about. But I was in bed with my husband. I hadn't put my perfume on yet, and I was like, oh, what should I put on today? Because we were going to watch a movie. We watch a lot of movies. We love watching movies in bed at the weekend. That's like one of our favourite things to do. So it does make me sound, when I talk to you guys, like I'm just constantly in bed watching films. I do work full time, as does my husband. But when we get to spend time together at the weekend, and I said, oh, do you want something fresh, or do you want something sweet, or do you want something creamy? And he'll always say fresh. He nearly always chooses fresh. It's very rare that he picks anything else when I give him the choice. And he loves Still by Jennifer Lopez, which is what this absolutely beautiful bottle is. I love this bottle. I can't tell you how much I love it. The colour of this glass is the colour that I'd like all of my glassware in. I nearly swore. I love this kind of glass. I love coloured glass like this. It's so sleek and pretty. And because I do think, in the same way with Far, I do think that this is its best in hot weather. But I was just in the mood, and I put it on, and I was lying next to him, or kind of sitting up in bed next to him, being like, oh my God, I forget how much I love this. He loves it too. It's one of his favourites in my collection. I find it very soothing, but bright enough. I know some people have said they wear this to bed. I find this one too bright, and actually the same with green tea. Unless it was extremely hot weather, I might be able to wear green tea in that situation, but I'd still rather, go for a really light lavender or something. But it's really like wake up, but still feel so clean and pretty, and I think this one smells very chic and classy. Oh my God. And it still, to me, smells like, what's it called? Jasmine tea. Like, it just smells like jasmine tea, but like cold jasmine tea with a slice of green apple in it. Oh, So I'm obsessed. I'm re-obsessed. I love it. I was not wearing this one because I was trying to work out if I was going to get rid of it. I will never get rid of Still. I can't ever imagine a day when I'm not going to like want to have this in my collection. I think I took it out of my top 20 for life, but realistically, I have like a top 30 for life if I'm honest. So the notes here are Earl Grey tea, white pepper, mandarin orange, apple and rice in the top. Mid notes are jasmine, lily of the valley, freesia, honeysuckle, orange blossom, rose in the mid. Base notes black pepper, musk, sandalwood, iris and amber. It's so pretty. Now what I'll say, I feel like in hot weather this smells a little bit sweeter to me. It smells a little bit more creamy. It very much smells like jasmine tea with green apple, right? In the cold weather when I was wearing it, it definitely doesn't feel quite as sweet. It definitely doesn't feel quite as creamy. But I get more of the other florals, so I got a bit more, well, at the time I was thinking, is it magnolia or something? So it was giving me that kind of white floral that was matching up to the jasmine, but it's actually lily of the valley. So I was getting much more of that when it was cold, but it was still beautiful. And I just, oh, what an absolute amazing perfume. And it lasts all day. I never have to actually respray this. It is incredible. Another one that the value for money is off the charts with Still. Oh, see, now I can't stop smelling it because it's so beautiful. But yeah, an absolute winner. It's just such a classy, chic and beautiful, but very calming perfume. I love that. I do understand that. I know that there's people who don't like it. I think Claire Smith has said a few times that she really doesn't like Still. So there's obviously something in it that rubs some people up the wrong way. But this one just works for me. And I just adore it. I still haven't put this video up. I keep forgetting I need to check the edits on it. In fact, I need to just properly edit it, and I need to sort out where the advert breaks are going on and all that kind of thing. Like, oh, everything takes a long time. But anyway, so I just decided to wear this. This is Viktoria Minya. This is Hedonist Iris, which is honestly a beautiful iris perfume. This lasted until the next day. So it is a subtle scent. It's kind of like a light skin scent, but I could smell it on myself all day and through the night and when I woke up the next morning. On my wrist, I could still smell it on my wrists and my hands. And I'd cooked, I'd washed my hands. It was just crazy how long this lasted. I mean, it is a niche and expensive brand, to be fair, Viktoria Minya. But Hedonist Iris, my goodness, that's got some longevity to it. Well, it certainly does in cold weather anyway. So this is iris, musk, blackcurrant, cacao pod, cedar, labdanum, pink pepper and bergamot. And I do think, for me, the main note is iris and musk with some pink pepper. Then you've got a bit of blackcurrant, but I can definitely smell some powdery cocoa here. This is so beautiful, but what I'll say about it, it's very melancholy. Like, this is not a very happy perfume. And I've heard people say before, I think the thing I'm thinking of is, I think Ruth Ann McKinnon has talked about, is it Chanel number 19? Anyway, one of the greener Chanel perfumes. She said she gets obsessed with it, but she can only wear it for a few days because it makes her feel a bit sad. And I realised after a few hours of wearing this that it was making me feel a little bit melancholy. Like, it was just, this makes me think of a lady who's like had her heart broken, but she's wearing some kind of crinoline or something. I don't know. Because I also had a sniff of my Fleur de Peau, and I think because that one is a little bit more spicy and there's some other things going on, it doesn't feel so kind of grey as this. Like, that feels kind of like a white coloured perfume to me. This has like a kind of cloudy grey sky feel to me, but it is also so beautiful. So I think I have to be careful what kind of mood I'm in when I'm going to wear this in the future, because I don't want to get rid of it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful iris perfumes I've ever smelled. I genuinely believe that to be true. but it really changed my mood. Like, it genuinely changed my mood. So yeah, that was a really interesting experience. It's absolutely lovely, but it's definitely not cheerful. All right, next up. Oh, this one came to save me in the cheerful stakes. I loved this when I wore it. It's not like I don't normally love this, but I've had a little bit of a couple of months maybe break of wearing it, and I could not get enough of myself wearing this. Oh, it's so good. American Cream by Lush. I've worn this so many times, and you can see my dent is quite small just because it's strong, man. You don't need loads of this perfume. The old Lush perfumes are beasts. American Cream, I love you so much. It is kind of a herbal, floral, aromatic vanilla and tonka, this perfume. I always say it every time people talk about it being a strawberry milkshake and having honey in and all this stuff. I do not think it smells like that at all. I think that's why sometimes when people buy this, they really don't like it because they're expecting like a strawberry milkshake. If you want a strawberry milkshake, currently there's tons of perfumes out there. Even a new one's just been released by, I can't even remember what the house is, but I saw it. Oh yeah, Juliet Has a Gun has just come out with a strawberry milkshake. So everyone's got a strawberry milkshake. This is not a strawberry milkshake. This is vanilla. It's benzoin, loads of benzoin. It's clary sage, quite a lot of it. It's lavender oil. It's got loads of coumarin, which is why it's so sweet. The vanilla absolute is really good in here as well, but it's that classic Lush combination of that with tonka or coumarin, you know. So it's got this kind of white icing, sugary feel about it. It's got geraniol, so it's got like all these things in it that give a bit of a irisy and rose feel. It's absolutely addictively lush and sweet and girly, and it smells pink, but it smells pink in a powdery way. It smells pink in quite an unusual way, and I was so in love with this week. I was like, I could have probably worn it for a few days, to be honest, but I was testing, as you'll see, some other things, so I didn't continue to wear it, but I could have happily because it's so lush. This is still in the box because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with this yet. Kayali Capri in a bottle. I got this one because it was on a special offer with the Maui. Is it Maui in a bottle? The sweet banana one. And I really wanted the little banana one. ASOS had a deal on for a certain amount of money. Like, you get a percentage off. So I thought I might as well chuck this one in and then I get a good deal on both of them. But I'm still not, I still don't quite know how I feel about this because there's a lot of things I like about it, but in fact, I will explain myself. Let me just have a quick sniff. There is something lovely about this. I mean, I think because it's such a small bottle, maybe I'm just going to keep it for now. And maybe I need to try it in warmer weather again, but... So Capri in a bottle, lemon sugar, 14 is that? Yeah. So 14, you can see the liquid in here has darkened up quite a bit since I first got this. And the same with Maui, which I would expect because they're both very sweet. That does seem to be a thing that happens with Kayali. So this is lovely. This is this and the sweet banana are the only Kayalis that I have in my collection, and I would never have a big bottle, but I think these are so cute anyway. I kind of wish I had enough room to have these little bottles on display because I love tiny, like, cute bottles, but this is absolutely scrummy. But I was trying to work out what it was that stops this from being a love to me, especially because I'd worn Far this week, and Far is a love. This is a like, and then it clicked with me, is that this smells like real sugar. And the thing with real sugar is there is a tanginess that is kind of essential. So if you're like me and you do not like synthetic sweeteners in food and drink, this is the difference to me between real Coke and Diet Coke. Or maybe not Diet Coke, but Coke Zero. This has it doesn't have, when it dries down, enough of a tanginess to me to smell like real sugar. It is smelling like artificial sweetener to me, like intensely sweet, like crazy sweet, without the essential kind of tanginess that you get with real sugar, and without the acidity that you get from the fruits that are in here. So the notes that they give you for this are sugar and lemon in the top, mid notes of raspberry and freesia, base notes of vanilla and musk. So as I said, the sugar smells synthetic to me, on me, when it dries down. And that there is a tanginess from the lemon, but there's no bitterness in this perfume at all, which is good for some people, right? But the raspberry and lemon are both such acidic fruits that I think if it just managed to retain just a tiny hint of that acidity in the dry down, a little bit of that acid, it would balance out how sweet this gets. And it is nice. I also think the raspberry is quite strong in here. In fact, I think it's maybe stronger than it was. In a weird way, it's kind of reminding me of that, is it Peach Melba perfume that I've got from Ulrich de Varens, except that one is a little bit tangier. So I'm going to have to just compare them and see whether that could be like a good vibe, because I think that one is like ice cream with peach and raspberry or something. And I feel like the lemon here is not as lemony as I would like it to be, but the raspberry is quite strong. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely got a bit of a synthetic sweetener feel to me. So it's staying for now, but I don't love it. And when I was wearing it, I kept thinking, oh, that's very sweet. It's kind of nice, but it's very sweet. And in the deep dry down, to me, feels ever so slightly unbalanced. And I do think you get a little bit of the floral as well. So I really think it could do with a bit of acid mixed in. Okay, now I have 3 of the samples that Roxy sent me. So I have made a video with all of those. I'm going to have to cut it up into bite-sized chunks because it's way too long. I haven't done like in-depth reviews of them, but I did take a quick sniff and give my very quick opinion of them as I was going through. But I will be adding them into my videos as and when I test them out. So let's start with this guy. So this is Profumo di Firenze. This is Matelda. And what does this say? The poet meets the travelling gluttons, a key fragrance reminiscent of the enveloping and light smell of peach blossom. Heart notes with the relaxing blend of chamomile give a soft and harmonious touch. Matelda is the perfume that transmits lightness. So let me just grab the notes. So this is top notes of peach blossom, white grapefruit. Middle notes of chamomile, violet, Peru balsam, benzoin. Base notes vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood and musk. I mean, looking at those notes, you can probably tell why I was drawn to trying this one. From the sprayer of this, you can kind of get a little sense for something that's a bit sweet, quite pretty. So I'm not longing to to suddenly want loads of expensive perfumes. So for my bank account, it's good that I didn't like this. But well, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just I don't need it, and it didn't really work very well on my skin. On paper, when I sprayed this out, very beautiful. I think this is a really calming, beautiful, slightly powdery, very sweet, pretty perfume. On my skin, it did something a little bit weird. So there's something that went medicinal on me, which is quite weird. And that really, really, really lasted for quite a long time. With chamomile, that can go a bit weird on me, but it's not normally like a medical smell. It's not like a sort of antiseptic smell that I was getting in this. Normally it goes just a little bit pissy on me, you know. But no, this was like, it properly went a bit medicinal, but it was still quite sweet. And then in the deep dry down, it just started to smell a bit like Scarlet Poppy. But the Scarlet Poppy when it was in the red bottle, so the less fruity version of Scarlet Poppy. So I was like, well, if I like this kind of smell, I can just get Scarlet Poppy. And I do really like Scarlet Poppy, to be fair, but I could do without Scarlet Poppy with kind of a side of antiseptic. So sadly, this one didn't work for me, but I mean, I think if you didn't get that antiseptic smell, it would be so beautiful, because it is a very, very pretty perfume indeed. Outside of that, and outside of being on my skin, it was lovely. But yeah, sadly, on my skin, not good. So then, if I close this one up, yeah, let's put that one there. Next up, we have this guy. So this is Vanille de Tahiti by Perris Monte Carlo. I mean, this is a very, very beautiful vanilla. But again, unfortunately, this did not work on my skin. So it went quite badly wrong on my skin, in fact. Notes for Vanilla de Tahiti from Perris Monte Carlo are champaca and ylang ylang in the top, mid notes of vanilla, base notes sandalwood, amber and musk. All of those things sound amazing to me. And again, from the bottle, smell amazing. On my skin, ooh, some indoles really came out to play. And what I ended... Oh, this is going to sound so gross, guys. And I know not everyone's got this at all. But yeah, on my skin, this was a very beautiful sweet vanilla and very stale urine. Or like, oh god, have you ever been into the toilet after a young boy has peed all over just all over the place, or like a boy's loo? That kind of wee smell. It was really bad, and it was so upsetting because that came through quite quickly, that weird kind of urinal smell. I'm assuming, because I don't normally got that problem with ylang, I'm assuming it's something to do with the champaca note in here. I have come across that perfume before in other scents, but yeah, it's difficult because the one that's really sticking out to me with champaca in is the Jean Pateau, and those perfumes tend to have some kind of indoles or animalic notes in them anyway. But yeah, this was kind of wild what this smelled like on my skin. And that urinal smell lasted for at least an hour. But then, when that had gone, the vanilla was so pretty. It was quite strong. And, I mean, it starts off very light. It's not, like, strong in terms of projection, I don't think. But it lasted a really long time. And I could still smell that vanilla on my hand in the morning. So, yeah, it's a shame it doesn't work because it's actually really pretty. But this kind of reminds me a little bit of the newer Coty Chanson de Eau vanilla. I was moaning about Coty the other day, but I had forgotten, to be honest, that they'd just released the Chanson range at a really cheap, like super affordable. So this really pretty bottle, you can get these for about £15 for 100ml. This vanilla is a kind of fruitier, more cotton candy version of something like this. So that's kind of the alternative, I'd say. The vanilla in it isn't quite as nice, to be honest, but it's definitely got some crossovers going on there. This is a richer vanilla for sure. But yeah, so didn't work. Ooh, and this one. I was super excited when I saw that I had been sent this by the lovely Roxy, because I've been wanting to compare this to some of my perfumes. And oh yes, so this is Violet Shot by Olfactive Studios. Beautiful bottles. I love the bottles. They are quite expensive, obviously, but I was really interested in this one. So Violet Shot is green grass, Italian mandarin and pink pepper in the top. Mid notes of violet leaf, saffroline, which I assume is some kind of, maybe that's like a synthetic saffron, I don't really know. Base notes, Madagascar vanilla, Spanish labdaman and Indonesian patchouli leaf. Now, This smells like a Lush perfume. It absolutely smells like a Lush perfume. In fact, it smells like a couple of Lush perfumes. But when I say it smells like a Lush perfume, I mean, if you gave me this on a strip and you asked me to guess what house it was from, I would say, I think this is a Lush perfume. It has the feel of a Lush perfume. So it doesn't have like too much of like a chemically feel to me, which is kind of rare with modern perfumes. There's nearly always something that rubs me up the wrong way. But this, when I spray it on at first, and for the first maybe like hour or so, it really reminds me of Lush's Confetti. Confetti is a perfume that has violet leaf and coffee, so there's like a smokiness there. It's got almond, so there's like a creamy yumminess. There's also, I think there's some kind of spice or something going on there, but there's a lot of greenness. I can't remember if that actually has a grass note as well, but there, it's got a really green, slightly sharp violet and violet leaf when you first spray that out, and then it gets a little bit sweeter, a little bit creamier. But there is just that kind of slight smokiness running through from the coffee. This is the same. It's got a lot of greenness. It's got a violet. It's got that sweetness that starts coming through. But then there is like an earthiness and a smokiness from that labdanum and patchouli leaf. And that is kind of sitting in for the way that the coffee comes across in Confetti. But then after about maybe like an hour or two, so in the much deeper dry down, it then kind of just smells like V from Lush, which is a violet ylang, I think it's ylang, but it's a violet and cedarwood perfume basically. And that also has a real earthiness to it. So yeah, this has some alternatives if you were looking for something. I don't know that they sell Confetti anymore. I think they still have V in the shops. It's a little bit more pricey, but it's probably cheaper than this. But yeah, I mean, I think they're both beautiful. I have a little 15 ml of Confetti, and I really need to pull that out and wear it actually. And I have a little decant from the massive bottle of V that I then sold on. But I kept like a good sized decant of that because it's a beautiful perfume. But yeah, it really, I think you have some maybe slightly more affordable alternatives, and especially because you can easily get Lush perfumes like that on eBay. That's where I got a lot of my more expensive Lush perfumes from. I like snapping things up on eBay. So yeah, that was my week, and it was quite an interesting week. There was a lot going on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Please do subscribe if you're not already. Wednesday, I think we've got some samples coming up actually, but they're not the ones Roxy sent me. This is a video I made ages ago about a bunch of other samples that I had. So and then I have my top 5 in February, so that one, because I'm sorry it was so late, the January one, but hopefully it was entertaining nonetheless, even if it was just skin of the teeth just before the end of the month after. So yeah, the February, you're getting 2 weeks in a row with my top 5 of the month. But yeah, so come back soon, and I'll see you for another What I Wore Last Week next Sunday. All right, bye guys.